I was debating on getting into this because it sounds a little controversial, but I want to get into Venezuela a little bit
Oh,
because your wife is
my
from
wife. Yes,
Venezuela.
she was born there. I've actually visited before I even had met her. I was there for Pesach a
Okay.
long time ago
So you were in Venezuela for Pesach.
in
You're
2005.
okay. And who was running Venezuela?
It was actually Chavez, but we went with like a family that had grown up there, was from there, and we actually were not in Caracas. We were in like a very remote part of
Was it safe
Venezuela.
to be there?
So it's funny you should ask. It was pretty safe, but if you ventured out of the resort, we were like on a beach resort near Margarita um, on the coast, and had you ventured out on your own, it was not safe. And in retrospect, it probably wasn't the best idea to go, as a family to Venezuela. But more so, my wife left Venezuela in 1999 with her family. She was 8 years old. She'd grown up there, left at the time that they left, my wife's grandmothers on both sides were still there, aunts and uncles. And it was a very traumatic thing. And they left because of Chavez and because of the, socialist communist government that was in place at the time. And the Jewish community, you know, they saw that there was tension early on, although things didn't, there's still a Jewish community there that has survived. But it was something where it's like you tell yourself, I'm thinking what my in-laws were thinking it's like their parents had to flee their countries of origin. And, let's go now before things get really out of hand. And they came to Florida, not to Miami, surprisingly, where all the other Venezuelans went. They actually ended up going to Boca.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
and my wife's parents, to this day, my in-laws live on the Circle there, and they were, one of the early families there, and they love it. And they said specifically they wanted to go to Boca Raton because there were no other Venezuelans there, and they really wanted to get the Jewish American experience.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and they're proud of it, and they raised three beautiful daughters, and I'm so fortunate to have my wife Perla, who's Venezuelan. In fact, on another Pesach program we did a few years ago, we went to Cartagena, Colombia, and on that trip, we were able to renew her Venezuelan passport. It was
Interesting.
not easy. They make it very difficult. She renewed her Venezuelan passport, so she's ready to go as soon as things open up there. I mean,
What's like the current situation there
it's still
now?
very fluid. Even though they took out Maduro, the old regime is still in power. So we're really watching, closely what's going to happen with Marco Rubio, President Trump, hopefully get things moving there and really open up that country because Venezuela, and I've heard these stories at the Shabbat table from my in-laws and from their relatives. Venezuela was, forget about like the natural resources that Venezuela has, but it's just like it was the wealthiest country in South America. I mean, and it was just such a beautiful place to live, to grow up, and communism destroyed that.
Yeah. Some people don't want to believe that communism really destroys the place.
Yes,
So you were inaugurated the same time as Mamdani.
I was.
And everybody has their own opinion on what Trump has done and his actions to, I would say, essentially free Venezuela from their dictator.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on what happened in Venezuela?
I'm ecstatic. And in fact, we found out on Shabbat at the shul, it was like from the security team, they're very good at like letting us know when there's like a world event happening.
Yeah.
And the mood was just electric because so many people in South Florida are from, my grandparents are Cuban.
Yeah.
And they had to flee, on my dad's side, they fled from Poland to Cuba. On my mom's side, they fled from Turkey and Syria to Cuba. And then unfortunately, they had to flee Cuba to Florida and to Miami. And I welcome this change. And it's just so nice to see a world leader that is doing something to try to clean up the world, and make the world a better place. Because everyone talks, Biden talked about it, everyone spoke about freeing Venezuela, but Trump was the one that did it.
Yeah. And what do you have to tell the people who are somehow finding the twisted,
all the people
like,
protesting are
yeah,
fake protesters. If you see,
like what's the
ask the Venezuelans how they feel.
Exactly.
Ask the Venezuelans how Venezuelans have never been this optimistic, and they're excited because, unlike what happened in Cuba, Venezuela, there's a chance to get it back. And, who knows? Maybe Cuba's next. Maybe Iran is next. I mean, with Trump at the helm, I mean, he's keeping his word on a lot of these things, and people are afraid of him. So,
well, I think not only people are afraid of him, but I think a lot of people who are more on the left, they're afraid that he might actually do something good, and he's been doing good. And you don't have to love his personality. You don't have to love everything he does. But when you're taking out a bad guy,
yeah,
and you are,
no, and
giving a bad guy what he deserves, which is taking him out of a country and potentially saving more lives. Like,
yes.
What is some schmuck, with a poster gonna who are you to say that what he did was bad? If anything, you're a part of the problem.
Right.